Hello everyone, my name is Matthew, and this is Learn the Lingo. Welcome to Lesson 88 of Hebrew Basics, a series where we learn the essentials of Hebrew grammar. We've finally gone over all the most important verb forms in the Hebrew language. And today, we're going to be learning to use an online tool that can give us any verb form we want. You can use this for any root and any binyan that root is used in. This website is called Ha'akademia LaLashon Ha'ivrit, the Academy for the Hebrew Language. We've used it before to learn how to form nouns with suffixes attached. You can do that in this section called Luchot Netiyat Hashem, tables of noun forms. What we're going to look at today is this section here called Luchot Netiyat HaPoal, tables of verb forms. When we go to this site, we have a box we can fill in labeled Shoresh, which is the Hebrew word for root. Here we can start typing in a root, let's say with shin and bet. And underneath, we're given available options. These two letters are quite common for the first two root letters, as you can see. So let's narrow it down some more with a third root letter, eresh. Now we have only two options, sin bet eresh and shin bet eresh. Remember, those sin and shin are spelled with the same letter, they don't sound the same, and are not interchangeable. I'll pick the root with shin, with a dot on the top right, which has a meaning of breaking in the kal. Now that we've picked our root, the second box has opened up for us. By it, we have the word binyan, and inside, bachar binyan, choose binyan. We'll click this open to see that this root can be formed in all 7 binyanim: kal, nifal, piel, pual, hifil, hofal, and hipael. I'll choose to see this verb's forms in the kal binyan. And here they are. At the top, we have shem hapoal, which is how you say the infinitive in Hebrew. That's lishbor, to break. Under that, we have avar and atid, past and future. Each of these tenses have a different form for every subject. Ani shavarti, I broke. Ata shavarta, you broke masculine singular, etc. Then we have hoveh, the present tense, and tzivoi, the imperative or command form. The present tense has the forms yachid and yachida, masculine and feminine singular, and rabim and rabot, masculine and feminine plural. The imperative has a command form for ata, you masculine singular, at, you feminine singular, atem or aten, any plural you, and aten specifically, you feminine plural. With certain forms on this kal table, we'll also see the form benoni paul, which is the adjective form we saw last lesson. It also comes in masculine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural form. Shavur, shavura, shavurim, and shavurot, broken. Now that we've seen the kal verb forms from the root shin bet eresh, we can click on the binyan button again to see a different binyan, say the pual. And now we can see the 3 tenses the pual is formed in: past, future, and present. We can use this website to see every valid form of a verb, and sometimes there are several. Putting the root chet zayin eresh in the kal, we can see that the infinitive and future tense have 2 different forms. One with a shva on the first root letter chet, and another with a compound shva vowel, usually a patach shva. I only taught you one form to simplify things, but when you look up roots, you'll find there are often these small variations. Let's try resh aleph hey in the kal. That makes the verb lir'ot, to see. When we type in the root resh aleph hey, we're not given any options, and this is why. When a root ends with a silent hey, a lot of people consider that root to actually end with a yod, including this website. With the root resh aleph yod in the kal, we can see some reasons why. In many forms of the past tense, the hey will change into a yod, as well as in the adjective form ra'ui, seen. There are other more complicated grammatical reasons for this as well. but remember to put a yod instead of a hey as the third root letter on this website. If we put the root resh aleph hey or resh aleph yod in the he field, we see the forms of the verb laharot, to show. And we see that the past tense of this verb has 2 or even 4 different possible versions for every form. I taught you the form hir'iti, I showed, but we can also say hir'eta with a tsere instead of a hirek, or her'iti with a segol on the he prefix instead of a hirek. These are 2 irregularities that you can choose to use in a he field past tense verb if the last root letter is he/yod, or the first root letter is resh, respectively. Since this root begins with resh and ends with he/yod, we can also use both. Her'eti, I showed. One more note for today. When we put the root he lamed kaf into the kal, we see a lot of variations in gray text, with a Hebrew word in parentheses next to them. This word is archai, archaic, or old. That means these forms may be used in either biblical or rabbinical Hebrew, but not modern Hebrew. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. And if you want to learn more Hebrew, please consider subscribing to my channel and checking out some of my other videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.